On man, on nature, and on human life, musing in solitude, I oft perceive fair trains of imagery before me rise, accompanied by feelings of delight, pure or with no unpleasing sadness mixed, and I am conscious of affecting thoughts and dear remembrances whose presence soothes or elevates the mind, intent to weigh the good and evil of our mortal state. To these emotions, whence soe'er they come, whether from breath of outward circumstance or from the soul, an impulse to herself, I would give utterance in numerous verse of truth, of grandeur, beauty, love, and hope, and melancholy fear subdued by faith, of blessed consolations in distress, of moral strength and intellectual power, of joy in widest commonality spread, of the individual mind that keeps her own inviolate retirement subject thereto, conscience only and the law supreme of that intelligence which governs all. I sing, fit audience let me find, though few, so prayed more, gaining than he asked, the bard in holiest mood. Urania, I shall need thy guidance, or a greater muse, if such descend to earth or dwell in highest heaven, for I must tread on shadowy ground, must sink deep and aloft, ascending breath in worlds to which the heaven of heavens is but a veil, all strength, all terror, single or in bands, that ever was put forth in personal form, Jehovah with his thunder and the choir of shouting angels and the imperial thrones. I pass them unalarmed, not chaos, not the darkest pit of lowest Erebus, nor aught of blinder vacancy scooped out by help of dreams can breed such fear and awe as fall upon us often when we look into our minds, into the mind of man, my haunt and the main region of my song. Beauty, a living presence of the earth, surpassing the most fair ideal forms, which craft of delicate spirits hath composed, from earth's materials waits upon my steps, pitches her tents before me as I move, an hourly neighbor, paradise and groves, Elysian fortunate fields, like those of old, sought in the Atlantic main. Why should they be a history only of departed things, or a mere fiction of what never was? For the discerning intellect of man, when wedded to this goodly universe in love and holy passion, shall find these a simple produce of the common day. I, long before the blissful hour arrives, would chant in lonely peace the spousal verse of this great consummation, and by words which speak of nothing more than what we are, would I arouse the sensual from their sleep of death, and win the vacant and the vain to noble raptures, while my voice proclaims how exquisitely the individual mind and the progressive powers, perhaps no less, of the whole species to the external world is fitted, and how exquisitely, too, theme this but little heard of among men, the external world is fitted to the mind, and the creation by no lower name can it be called, which they with blended might accomplish. This is our high argument. Such grateful haunts foregoing, if I oft must turn elsewhere to travel near the tribes and fellowships of men, and see ill sights of madding passions mutually inflamed, must hear humanity in fields and groves pipe solitary anguish, or must hang brooding above the fierce confederate storm of sorrow, barricadoed evermore within the walls of cities. May these sounds have their authentic comment, that even these, hearing, I be not downcast or forlorn. Descend, prophetic spirit, that inspirest the human soul of universal earth, dreaming on things to come, and dost possess a metropolitan temple in the hearts of mighty poets. Upon me bestow a gift of genuine insight, that my song with star-like virtue in its place may shine, shedding benignant influence, and secure itself from all malevolent effort of those mutations that extend their sway throughout the nether sphere. And if with this I mix more lowly matter with the thing contemplated, I describe the mind of man contemplating, and who and what he was, the transitory being that beheld this vision, when and where and how he lived. Be not this labor useless? In such theme may sort with highest objects then. Dread power, whose gracious favor is the primal source of all illumination, may my life express the image of a better time, more wise desires, and simpler manners nurse my heart in genuine freedom, all pure thoughts. Be with me, so shall thy unfailing love guide and support, and cheer me to the end.